Welcome or welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. I'm going to just hop straight in because I feel like there is just so much that I'm wanting to share, and it's no surprise to me that I've been guided to film today for the first time after a really long time on the Friday the 13th. I feel like I've been reaching my points of expression and consciousness expanse that I've just been pushed to my very limits, and this is very much connecting to something that happened in October. So I want everyone to cast their minds back to October. Those that have been here for a little while, that have been following the channel for a little while, thank you so much, because I went through something that felt like a space of having to atone for different lifetimes where I have been different aspects of being, where I have been involved in the negative reptilian regime somewhere, where I've been involved in, I guess, darker timelines of expression. And there is a whole series titled The Darkness, if you want to delve a little bit deeper into that, into where I found myself understanding the darker realms and understanding magic to a deeper capacity. But I reached my point of expression and expanse when I came face to face with what I would consider to be a vampiric energy, and this was not the first time that it was brought to my attention. Many months ago, I guess a couple of years ago perhaps now, I saw some visions, and this was me as an archaeologist in a cave at some point, and then this being just crawled out of the darkness and started to attack all of us and everyone around me. And when I look back at that moment, I'm starting to see where this was all slowly being filtered into my consciousness, so that I would be able to get to this point and be able to share this information for you all. But I'm going to share a little bit more about all of that in the energetic update video, because there is a lot that ties in all together, and I wasn't quite sure how to make it all make sense, because it feels like there were just so many branches of this expression that I was trying to bring into one conscious space. So I'm going to share this message, and then please do watch the energetic update that I will tag in the description below, because I'm going to tie everything all together there, because there is a lot that I want to share personally that I think is going to go, well, it does go into tandem with all of this. So I'm going to share the message, you will get to receive it, and then please do go and watch the expression, because I will be able to help you make it make sense in the present given time and where it's made sense to me in my life and how this has all come to be. But today's message is about vampires and how they do exist, and this has been coming from all teams. I sat down to channel this message and I thought, who's going to come forward with this? And everyone stepped forward. So it was all galactic beings. This is every being that I've ever stepped forward with, the angels, everyone came forward and said, we're here to support you in this, because, you know, this is getting to the far reaches of everything. And this is very much tied into popular culture and everyone. And I want to share before I read this message that from a very young age, I've been obsessed with vampires, with the Anne Rice books. I was reading Anne Rice books at a very young age. These, 17th century vampires made a lot of sense to me, and I wasn't entirely sure why. And as I've been deeper in my expression of my spiritual expanse, of my awakening, this idea of the vampire just kept coming back and back into my expression. And I thought, nothing happens in my life by chance. The fact that I've been so seemingly obsessed with this has been for purpose, and now this purpose is coming to full fruition. So I'm going to go a little bit more into my personal expression with all of that, because there were many synchronicities that led me to be able to share this information with you all today. But this message is coming from everyone. So if you're here for the first time, please have an open mind is what I want to share. But I'm going to start. And everyone started with, Dear Light Ones, this is a complicated understanding that we wish to bring forward to you all now, as it has future reference that will be needed to taken into consideration by you all. As so many of you are aware, there are matters at hand that go far beyond the realms that which many in humanity have understood to its fullest capacity. The notion of the vampire may have come far from folklore, myths and legends. However, all of you here know that this is far from being true. There is such a thing, there is much that you all see in this present given time and lifetimes that you thought couldn't be possible. We are here to shed some light on this expression also. This dear soul has come face to face with such hybrid beings. These beings have been born of multi-bloodlines, and they do indeed feed on the blood of others. We know that this may be difficult to hold on to, just as the information of the negative reptilian order also. So if you're here for the first time and you have no idea what I'm talking about with regards to the negative reptilian regime or order, please do pause and do some personal research and make sure that you are looking after your mental capacities and your physical body whilst regaining all of this information and doing your own research. It's so, so vital to make sure that you are looking after yourself. But I'm going to continue. What you must understand at this very basic level is that the vampire continues to exist through the ideas and consciousness of others also. The folklores lead into fear, and these fears manifest if they are strong enough. And I want to lead with this example of something that I listened to in a podcast maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was paranormal. I was a paranormal investigator, and they were talking about a haunted house, and they said, you know, if there was a house on the street, and I've said this analogy before, but I think it really helps. If there was a house on the street and, you know, something happened in that house, whether it be a murder or something weird happened in that house, and there is a community that knows that this thing happened in this house, the more that this house is thought about in other people's minds as being haunted, or, you know, this is the house of, I don't know, something dark, something demonic, whatever. The more that this is thought of in the energy of others, the more that this house will start to manifest that energy. So this might be a house that wasn't haunted in the first place. You know, the energies of those souls that might have left that time, whatever house, if people have been murdered, you know, in horrific circumstances, those souls might have passed. But because of this notion of everyone seeing this house as the haunted house, that energy has then manifested into there being beings of energy from these consciousness of these souls and brought it into that space. So keep that analogy in mind when I continue reading the rest of this channeling, because it all ties into one that I'm going to hopefully be able to bring forward as a full stop at the end of all of this. So I'm going to continue. There are many groups of these beings. Some have come into the alliance with the negative reptilian forces, as of course they have a mutual interest, bloodshed. Some see it as a sport and aren't willing to forward into the future that we are trying to create. You must understand that there are souls that wish to evolve alongside of us also, and we're getting pretty expansive here, and this dear soul has been in turmoil trying to make sense of it all. And when I say I reached the absolute pinnacles of my consciousness, I felt like I reached my breaking point again, everyone. I thought, I cannot hold on to this information. It just feels too much, too expansive, and you know, it just didn't make sense anywhere else in my life. And I thought, I don't know how to bring this forward to the collective. And I'll be honest with you, everyone, I was very worried about just putting out information that was going to distract from the task at hand in terms of ascension and leave many of the collective worried or fearful. That is not something that I want to do, and I hope that you can take this information and seed it in as consciousness and be able to understand that there is so much out here that just goes beyond the realms of that which we have thought to be true, but also it's been fed to us. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that at the end also. So been in turmoil trying to make sense of it all, as she's been involved very deeply lifetime after lifetime with such beings, and that was very difficult to hold on to. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that in the energetic update as well, because I'm starting to see where all of this information has been given to me so that I could share it with the collective. But this means that I've had many lifetimes connecting to such beings, you know, the negative reptilian order, these kind of bloodshed worthy, these bloodshed, I don't want to say worthy, but this bloodshed and thirst of these beings make them feel like they are worthy, more higher of an expression than us. So this idea of vampires being here, you know, it's not necessarily the stereotypical what you might think, and I'm going to share a little bit more about that too. Please know that there are many types of vampires. The most rampant in your understanding is the energetic vampire, and this is a system. And I know that Shauna L. Francis put out some information most recently about this understanding of this hub of energy that comes from the negative reptilian order and them siphoning this energy and keeping it somewhere. This is exactly what these vampiric energies are doing also. They are siphoning energy and they are storing it in a space. This is an infrastructure that is being used to collect energy also. There are souls that have incarnated to simply siphon energy off of others, and this completely blew my mind. And I've been in a space where I've been very close to someone that is of this frequency, and this is something that has been repeating in my lifetime. So it got incredibly emotional and intense for me once I'd figured this out. in the most recent of weeks, everyone. So apologies that I haven't been here, but I've been dealing with all of this and trying to make it make sense to myself. We have allowed this soul to experience this type of energy time and time again, so that when the time came in the future, she would know exactly how to help others in similar situations. The world that which she once knew is falling, and there will be much in the years to come that will fracture the consciousness of many. This is merely another layer of expression of all that is possible. The idea of energy collection is very much connected to the negative reptilian regime, and this has been discussed here on this channel before. The blood of a being, it's been discussed on this channel before, and I'm going to pause there because this is such an important understanding, so please do listen. The blood of a being is incredibly important and a valuable source. Just as important as your life force energy, it's all one and the same. There are beings that refuse to evolve and continue to feed off of others, whether this be energy or the blood, it's all of the same source. So energy and blood and life force holds the same frequency. However, when it connects to bloodlines, this is very important to note. Your bloodlines are valuable to those that wish to take control of the world, as they see that it is only a very few set bloodlines that deserve to be on this planet, deserve to be part of this realm, and they wish to keep control over whom is connecting and procreating, to keep those bloodlines pure and true in their eyes. This is where it becomes incredibly difficult to express. This dear soul has been face to face with many that wish to connect with her bloodline, as they knew of her psychic abilities, and this lies within her true bloodlines, as the lineage is strong and sought after. So I've reached my points of expression where this just got very personal for me, and it was difficult to hold on to, everyone. Although this soul unaware, there has been a reason why so many in her family have remained without children, and if they have, it's been under very strict circumstances. There is such a thing as breeding for control. It is very real and is used lifetime after lifetime to keep some souls in a cycle of control. We are coming to the times where this shall not be the case any longer. If this message is for you, it will make sense. If not, simply see this as an expression to help you expand consciousness and leave it at that. We are back to mind-melting territory once again, dear souls. Have patience with yourself. We are here to share more in due time. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We shall answer via this dear soul. And apologies, everyone, because this feels so loaded to me. This feels like there is so much that I've been trying to pull forward to make it make sense to you. And I'm still in an expression of making this make sense for myself. So please go easy, please go well with this understanding. But this idea of the vampire is very real and true. This is hybrid being somewhere. And this connects to the Vatican too. I've done remote viewing. I've been shown incidences, not just myself. I've been in healing sessions with others that we went down under the Vatican, and there was just a being that was encapsulated with energy. We couldn't quite see what it was, but we knew that it was there for a very specific reason. So we sent this being love, and we went on our merry way is what I want to share. But I thought this idea of the vampire is here, and it's true. And I've been face to face with those that have been energetic vampires this lifetime, and some unconscious, some at a subconscious level, and this ties into very human aspects too, which I'm going to share in the energetic update. But this idea of your blood being sought after, where your lineage comes from being sought after, and this be something that is used in mind control programs, this be something that is used in sacrifice, those that are connected to darker magical practices somewhere, and the sacrifice of others, and that being something that is used for particular bloodlines and to give them more energy. And I'm going to tag a couple of videos in the description that I watched to help me make sense of this, because I reached my point of consciousness snapping. This reached my point of this becoming very real and personal to myself, and I thought, I don't know how to bring this forward to the collective. It just felt too expansive. And then the next morning I woke up and I had a video that was open on YouTube for me to watch. And this was about someone that has been very much connected to their bloodline, and this expression of them being targeted and used to be a super soldier. They go into much more detail of this expression. This is so much more of a deeper expression that I've experienced, and I just thought, if they can bring forward their story, so can I. So please do watch that too, because I think this will help it make sense a little bit more for you. But do watch the energetic update that I will tag in the description, because I'm going to share a little bit more in there. So this is all teams of light, angels, galactic and otherwise, stepping forward and saying, vampiric energies exist. These are beings that target energy and they feed off of that source. And this is something that has been brought to my attention time and time again. But I was in such a deep expression of a place that I needed to heal that I couldn't even bring this forward and take it in its deepest capacity, because I realized I've been around a lot of beings that were here to siphon my energy for their own personal gain. And that was incredibly difficult to hold on to. So thank you for your patience. I really do hope that this has made sense. I felt like a little bit rambling at certain points, but I've tried to bring it forward as easily as possible. And you know, these bloodlines and negative reptilians, they believe that they deserve to take over this planet and they deserve to be in control of everything. This is why they are doing all of this. And this idea of the bloodlines being valuable and people only allowing to procreate with certain other members specifically of their family. So incest is, you know, rampant in these spaces. It gets really, really dark. And please go easy with further research in this, because it is mind-melting stuff. So please do make sure that you're looking after your mental mind in all of this. This is why I had to take a pause, because I reached my capacity. I thought, I can't do any more within this space, and it's taken me some time to make all of this make sense, because it was just so open-ended. There were just so many fractals of my life that I was having to draw in to make all of this make sense. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that and more about what's happened to me in my expanse and where I've been, and my collapse of my consciousness and the collapse of ego again that has brought me to this space, and be able to bring all of this information for you all. But if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And if this message isn't for you, it probably isn't going to make that much sense somewhere, and that's okay. Just, you've received it, you've helped the consciousness expand, and you can pause here and you don't have to come back to this expression. And please know that at any point you can tap out. You know, there's not an obligation to be here, and this was very much something that was brought to my table time and time again the most recent weeks, because I reached the point where I thought, I just can't do any more than I've done. I just can't see it in any more than is being brought to me now. And I realized, because I didn't have a marker point for this to make sense, and thankfully, you know, I was brought information that was going to help me to understand that no, this is very real, this is very true. Because when things are happening to you and you can't express it to other people that it makes sense to them, it's difficult to hold on to. And this is something that we all face on this path, and it's so important to keep those close to you that do trust you, do love you, and that you know that you can trust too. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that in the energetic update. So please do look out for that in the description, everyone. But that's all for myself and everyone today, connecting to the vampire. And actually, I'm going to share it here too. But I realized that this expression is coming forward because on Christmas Day, there is a vampire movie coming out that is called Nosferatu, and that was just the end of everything. That was where I felt like I could just close the book, and I thought, this is being brought forward now so that in the times to come, we understand what we are facing. And this idea of a spiritual warfare is very real and very true. So please, if you're dealing with things in your life that feel difficult, please do reach out, because we are stronger together. And I think it's important to have no fear in these spaces. I reached my points of reaching, deeper states of understanding, and I just completely sank into fear. And I thought, I don't know how to bring this information forward. I thought everyone is going to think that I'm absolutely crazy, but I know that I'm not. So remember that whatever you are experiencing, you're not crazy. It is very real and very true for you, and that's important. So make sure that you are looking after yourself and finding those spaces where you can be held. But I needed that confirmation. I thought, I'm bringing forward this information because it is being brought to the entirety of the world on such a powerful day of expression. This is being brought forward on Christmas Day, this new vampire movie, and that's with purpose. This idea of us holding this information in the consciousness and that being something that is rippled out, it's here for a reason, and it's being brought forward in such a, I don't know how to word it, but such a seductive way. And this was very much what I sank into. That's what I enjoyed from these vampire books. They were very seductive, they were very quite overtly sexual in their expression, and I sank into those notions. It felt very easeful for me to be in those expressions because I had been in those expressions with others before. And I'm going to pause there so that you can continue with that in the energetic update with me, but just bear that in mind to those that are in, I don't know, blood work, blood ritual, practices of that sort, because there is a layer of this that you perhaps aren't aware of, and you should have all the information before you continue on the path that you've been led. And also, you know, everyone is here on their own expression. This is also something that I've had to just understand, is that I can't force someone to be on a different path. You know, they're on their path for a reason, and it's not up to me to jump in and trying to help people. I'm merely sharing my expression, what I've experienced, in the hope that it might help some people that are ready to step out of different paradigms and to expand on this ascension. But also, everyone is where they are supposed to be, and if people, you know, stay in their expression, that is completely okay too. But this is just me seeding my consciousness, what I've been experiencing, and trying to help others in the collective that might be in similar positions that are wanting to break free from such notions also. But that's all for myself and everyone today with the vampiric notion, energy vampires, those that are feeding off the blood of others, those that have been in alliances with a negative reptilian order to siphon this energy so that all have this hub of energy they are feeding off time and time again. We're here to break it down. We're here to bring consciousness to that awareness so that we can seed in this expression. So when you come face to face with an energy vampire, with someone or a being that is trying to siphon your energy, you know that it's real and true, and you will be told that this is true. But I'm going to delve a little bit more into that in the energetic update, so please do watch out for that. But that's all for myself and everyone today. Take care.